Hi, boys and girls. I hope that you are doing well. I am excited to do some reading with you today. Today we're going to be reading a nonfiction book. And anytime that we read a nonfiction book, we know that we want to get our brain ready to learn true facts. The book that we're going to read today is called From Seed to Plant. And it's written and illustrated by an author named Gail Gibbons. You've read a little bit this week about plants and how they change and grow. Today, when you're listening to this nonfiction text, I want you to see if you can pay close attention to the parts of a plant. So in the illustrations, we will see some diagrams and some labels. Pay attention to the parts of a plant and also pay attention to the life cycle of a plant. So how does the seed change and what happens at each stage? When you're done, you have two choices of activities. You can choose which one interests you the most. Here is a page called Plant Life Cycle. So you can find some pictures and put them in order and label them to show how a plant grows and changes. And the second one is called Plant Parts. And you can complete this activity about some different plant parts that you might enjoy eating. Okay? So as you're listening today, get your brain ready to think about how a plant grows and changes, and also pay special attention to the parts of a plant because each plant part has a really important job. So we'll pay attention to the plant parts and how the plant grows and changes, okay? There's one important word that you heard in our poem for the week, and the word is germination, and that's a really big word. We're going to find that word in our book, so I want to make sure you remember what it means or that you know. Say the word germination with me. Clap it. Germination. Say it to the ceiling. Germination. Say it to Mrs. Clark. Germination. When a seed germinates, or when germination happens, something really important is going on. We plant a seed, and when we plant it, it looks like this, maybe, and it's closed up. But once the seed gets into the soil and it becomes soft and warm, then the seed germinates. And here you can see a seed that's opened up. When a seed germinates, it cracks open, and then a shoot can sprout out and go up, and then roots can grow down. So germination is when the seed splits open, and then a shoot comes up, and a plant goes down. So take your hands right now, and let's pretend that our hands are a closed up seed that's really tight, and it's underneath the soil. Now show germination. So show the seed sprouting open. And then show a sprout going up and a root growing down. Germination is a really important step in the plant's life. So I wanted you to know what that word means, okay? So we're gonna read this nonfiction text together to learn true facts about plants and seeds. Pay close attention to the parts of the plant and pay close attention to the life cycle. So what happens to the plant as it's changing, okay? This is called From Seed to Plant by Gail Gibbons. Most plants make seeds. A seed contains the beginning of a new plant. So here are some pictures of different flowers. Seeds are different shapes, sizes, and colors. As the reader now, I'm thinking about that interesting information. Not all seeds look the same. I'm noticing that they're different shapes and colors and sizes. They look very different. All seeds grow into the same kind of plant that made them. Oh, that's interesting. So here is a sunflower seed. I'm thinking, oh, this will grow into a sunflower. Here is an acorn, It comes from an oak tree, so I know, oh, this seed will grow into an oak tree. So interesting. Many plants grow flowers. Flowers are where most seeds begin. You might see a type of flower that you have in your yard. I'm going to skip these ones. The seeds grow inside of the flower, even as the flower begins to die. As the seeds become bigger, a fruit or pod grows around them. The fruit or pod protects the seeds. Oh, interesting. So here's a part of a flower that the author said is called a pod. And I'm thinking, oh, the pod protects the seeds. Here's a fruit. Inside are seeds. That fruit protects the seeds. That's interesting information that teaches me a little bit about some parts of a plant. When the fruit or pod ripens, it breaks open. Look at the illustration. The pod has broken open. Here you can see some seeds inside of this fruit. It breaks open. The seeds are ready to become new plants. Some seeds fall to the ground around the base of the plant where they will grow. I'm noticing in the illustration these seeds that are falling to the ground. Some pods or fruit open and the seeds pop out. Sometimes when birds eat berries, they drop seeds. Wow, we're learning a lot about how seeds go different places and are carried different places. Here I can see that bird carrying some seeds. The seeds are a very important part of the plant. I know that because the author keeps talking about seeds. Other seeds fall into streams, ponds, rivers, or the ocean. There, they travel to the water until they stick to dirt along a shore. If you look really closely at this illustration, you can see some seeds. They cannot grow in the water, but they can grow in the soil. The wind scatters seeds. Some seeds have fluff on them that let them float to the ground like tiny parachutes. Others have wings that spin as they fall. I have seen seeds that look like this. Thumbs up if you've seen any seeds that look like this. Yeah, not all seeds look the same. These are interesting shapes. Animals help scatter seeds too. They hide acorns and the nuts in the ground. Some seeds have hooks that stick to the fur of animals or people's clothes. Later, they drop off onto the ground. Interesting. So here are some seeds. Here are some seeds. Remember, we're going to pay close attention to the life cycle. So let's notice what happens to these seeds, and then let's notice the parts of a plant. A flower bed or vegetable garden is beautiful. Seeds are planted to grow in the gardens. I know in my classroom, lots of kids are saying that they're planting gardens. Flower gardens or vegetable gardens. The seeds come in small envelopes or boxes. Directions explain how to plant the seeds and how to care for the plants. Thumbs up if you have some little seed envelopes. Yeah? The beginning of a plant is curled up inside each seed. Ooh, so here's a part that's really important. The seed has food for the plant. Food is stored inside the seed too. The seed has a seed coat on the outside to protect it. This label says seed coat. Oh, so that seed coat is protecting that food inside of the seed. A seed will not sprout until certain things happen. First, it must be on or in the soil. Then it needs rain to soak the seed and soften its seed coat. So that seed has to be in the soil. And that rain will soften that hard seed coat. And then, listen, you know this word now. When the sun shines and warms the ground, the seed coat breaks open and the seed begins to grow. This is called, say it with me, germination. This is called germination. A root grows down into the soil. The root takes in water and minerals from the soil for the food. Boys and girls, as the readers, we want to pay special attention to the parts of a plant. So tell someone in the room with you, what does the root do? It takes in, did you tell someone water? It takes in minerals to help the plant grow. So it's almost kind of like a straw. It sucks up important water and minerals that the plant needs to grow. That's a very important part of the plant. Up grows a shoot. The shoot you will see comes out of the ground. Green leaves grow up from the shoot toward the sun. Here's a label that says leaves. Leaves are very important. Let's listen and find out why. So remember, we're thinking about how the seed changed. I'm remembering it was just a seed with a seed coat. Then germination happened and the roots went down, the shoot came up, and now I see leaves. The plant grows bigger and bigger. The leaves make food for the plant from the water and minerals in the soil, the sunlight, and the air all around the plant. Wow, that was a lot of information. I'm going to stop and make sure I understood that. The leaves make food for the plant now. So they get sunlight. That's so important in air. So the leaves are very important. They get food for that plant. So do the roots under the soil. Finally, the plant is full grown. Buds on the plant open into flowers where new seeds will grow. We saw that at the beginning of the book. Here are some buds. Look carefully to see, oh, there must be hidden seeds inside. So these buds are really important. Many of the foods people eat are seeds, fruits, and pods. They are full of nutrition, vitamins, minerals, and they are tasty too. You might see a seed or a plant that you and your family enjoy eating. Okay, kindergartners, before we read this, I told you that you had a couple jobs and things that you were to think about. Think carefully about how a plant begins. What is the very first thing that has to go into the soil? Are you thinking it? Are you thinking there were lots of different ways it can get to the soil? There are lots of different shapes and colors and sizes. And you might even plant these yourself. But say with me, what is the first step in the plant's life cycle? It has to be a seed. First, it's a seed, and then tell yourself, what happens to that seed underneath the ground? Remember that seed coat splits open, and then things will go down into the ground. What goes down into the ground? Starts with an roots. Roots go down into the ground, and that shoot will sprout up, and you might see a sprout with leaves. Leaves, remember, are really an important part because they take in food. They help that plant get food and sunlight. That's so important. All right, we thought a little bit again about the parts of a plant that are so important and the plant's life cycle. Kindergartners, you have 2 different activities that you can do now to show all that you learned from this book. So this says the plant life cycle. There are some words here. This says sprout. Remember that? It goes up. Say sprout, sprout. This says flower. Picture that flower. Remember, the seeds are inside of that flower. Plant. Say plant, plant. And this says seed. Say seed, seed. You will see each of these. Please cut them out and put them in order, and then you can write the word to tell about what each picture is. And you can use these words right here. That's what the word bank is for. So maybe that's what you want to do to show your learning. Or maybe you want to think about plant parts that you might eat. Okay, there are lots of different types of plant parts that you eat that you probably enjoy. Here you will see some pictures. Some of the pictures show things that are roots. You're probably thinking about the book tops and bottoms and the different types of roots that you ate. Some are fruit that grow on top that you might eat with seeds inside. Some are flowers and some are seeds. So cut these out and sort them, and then you can write about what you like to eat. So this says, I like to eat because. Maybe there's a type of seed or fruit or flower that you like to eat, and you can tell why. All right? If you get these done, take a photo of them and show them to your teachers, because we would love to see all of the careful work and the smart thinking that you're doing about plants and seeds. You could even write sentences all about what you learned from this book. Okay, have a great rest of your day. Bye, boys and girls.